Welcome to the first episode of the Journey in Business series, where I'll be sitting down with entrepreneurs to talk about their journey in business and what lessons they've learned. I'm Jess, owner of Jess Creatives, and today I'll be sitting down with Ashley of I Do Wedding Planning. Hey Ashley, thanks so much for joining me today.
Hey Jess, thanks for having me.
So to start us off, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about your business?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Ashley Stork. I own I Do Wedding Planning in Birmingham, Alabama, so not too far from Jess. We're in the central part of the state, for those of you who aren't familiar. And we pretty much just specialize in wedding planning, not really any other events. I focus on full wedding planning service and our wedding day management, which if you're not in the wedding industry, you might know that as like day of or month of, but our service is a little more comprehensive. So we call it wedding day management. And I am married to my college sweetheart. We have been together for 10 years, but married 8 in just a couple weeks. And we have 2 crazy dogs. If you follow me on Snapchat or watch my Insta story, they make a feature sometimes.
Yes, I've seen them. I also Instagram and Snapchat my dog.
They're cute.
They're always so cute.
Yeah.
So today we just want to talk about you and like your business journey. So to start off, what is your favorite part of what you do?
My favorite part of what I do is I get to walk on a really unique journey with our clients through this process of engagement season and leading up to their marriage. And so the heart that I have kind of found is I really love being part of that, part of their relationship that is growing and really encouraging them. I have found that to be such a unique experience. It's probably one that you're only going to have once in your life. You're only engaged once. And so it's really interesting. I have a human development and family studies degree.
Oh, nice.
That comes in handy a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like relationships building between the couple and maybe families, and there's a lot of dynamics there. So that's kind of turned out to be my favorite part, is just hopefully being an encourager of their relationship. Yes, we're planning a fantastic event and there's all this pretty at the end of it, but at the end of the day, it's really just about that ceremony and getting married. And so just encouraging them through that journey has kind of been my favorite part, really.
That's so cool. I did not have a wedding planner. I wish I had. So there's your little
Plug.
Yeah, there's your little plug. You need a wedding planner.
Yeah.
I think that would have helped.
Everyone needs a non-emotionally involved third party.
Yes.
With all those relationship dynamics I was just mentioning, and then there's money involved. It makes decision making quite difficult.
Yes.
And so, so to have somebody, and of course I'm emotionally involved in the sense of we become friends and
right.
we have a relationship, but I can step back and say like, look, this is the smartest choice, or maybe let's really reevaluate why we're having this conversation or something like that. So, yeah, everyone needs somebody.
Yes. So go get yourself a wedding planner, especially Ashley, if you're in the area.
Yeah.
So on the flip side of that, what is something you wish you had done differently over the last few years of business?
Oh my, so many things, right? Like business is just trial by fire. I don't know. I purchased my business, which is sort of a unique experience.
Yeah.
And so, and just like wedding planning, you just don't know what you don't know when you're purchasing a business, or even when you're starting a business. You're just like, I like to do this and I'm going to do it. And you kind of don't know all the things that go into it. So for me, if I could really do it over, I just wish I had better systems in place before I had gotten started, because I just sort of dove head first. And at the time of year I bought my business was March, like when all the papers were signed. So like engagement season had started and we were getting inquiries and we were booking, which was fantastic, but I really just didn't have the time to like get to know the business. I just kind of had to jump in, and I had to jump into the systems that were there. And I learned quickly that they just didn't really work for me and my personality. So I spent a lot of time working in a way that didn't work for me. And so I just wish I had thought that through more. I didn't really think that was going to be important or something I needed to think about. And so I wish I had thought that through a little bit more.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to like, when did you start to feel like, oh, like now my systems are finally like in place and working?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, like I spent all 2015, all of last year, that's pretty much all I did was develop systems and work on systems. And I really feel like in the last 6 months, I'm in a really happy place with our client experience and the systems that are working for us and the tools that we're using that work for us. We've sort of kind of gotten to a really good place with all of that. So it took a solid year, because you have to try different tools out and you have to try them longer for a week, to see if you really like them or what really works for you. And like kind of developing our client experience, the things that mean more to me than maybe others, that takes time, I think, to figure out. So it really took a solid year. Now, I don't think you need to spend a year before you buy your business or start doing that.
Right.
But you should probably take like a couple weeks to figure out what is going to be your client process and how are you going to handle social media and marketing and how are you going to handle finances. But I think something people make a mistake on is they think, oh, well, I have a system and it's done. To me, they're never done.
No, never. I started setting up systems like maybe my second year of business, like really basic systems. And just even like the last year or so, I've been tweaking and refining my systems because it's,
of course,
new tools come out, you step back and you're like, yeah, this doesn't actually work, but I've been doing it for a few years.
Yeah, I agree. Like new things come out that you find and you're like, oh, I want to try that out. Maybe that'll work for me. Or if you sometimes really step back and think about it, like my assistant and I sometimes will go through and I'm like, are we even really doing this step? And she's like, no. I'm like, then let's take it off the list. Like if we're not doing it and it's not that important, like let's move it off. Or we look at it and we go, oh, we're not doing that. And
maybe we
should be.
Yeah.
So I think, you got to get them to a place like what you just said, just something basic to get started. And then you can kind of tweak and refine as you go. And then eventually you get to a place where you're kind of happy with them. And then you'll just need to like spot check them as you hear about new things, or you kind of evaluate and decide, that didn't really work, or we don't actually even do that. So why is that on our checklist?
Yeah. So if you had to choose one of your favorite tools that you use in like your systems, what would you say it is?
So I'm kind of obsessed with Trello right now. We just use it for back-end facing, like our clients don't ever see it. We use something else that's focused to wedding planning for them. But for us, we use Trello. It's been fantastic from a collaborative standpoint for me and my team. The way it looks on your computers, the way it looks on your phone. So like I can just kind of take my list with me, which is super fantastic. So I'm kind of obsessed with Trello right now. I kind of had most of our systems hosted over on Google Docs. And of course we use Google Docs still for document creation, but right now Trello is my jam.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people love Trello. That's one of the and it's free. So that makes it even better.
Like it's awesome.
Yeah. So if you had to go back to your first year, what do you wish someone had told you other than setting up systems?
Yeah. Oh gosh. My first year.
Isn't it crazy to think about your first year? Like it feels,
I know, which wasn't that long ago, but like feels like 100 years ago. That it's just not going to be the straight path, and it's not going to be easy.
No.
but not being easy doesn't mean it has to be hard or taxing or difficult. It's just not going to be simple, because when you go from the corporate world or the 8 to 5 world, or I came from a direct sales background, there was someone telling me what to do and telling me what the carrot was and telling me what the goal was. And now that's all up to you. So it's just, I think it's just that the path isn't going to be straight. It's going to be really windy, and it's going to be uphill, and it's going to be downhill. And you just have to find like your tribe. You have to find your people that are going to rally around you, listen to you when you're down, listen to when you're up, bounce ideas off of each other, and just be those people for you.
Yes.
And 2.5 years ago, that was a little hard to find. Now it's pretty easier to find, because our online space is continually changing. So I think just like, if somebody were to sit me down before I had started this, and then just, if I could go back and tell that girl, it's just not going to be easy, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's going to be so worth it.
Yeah.
And it really is.
I think that sometimes, even myself, when it gets hard, sometimes it feels like, am I doing something wrong? And it's like, no, like this is just this is growing pains.
Yeah.
Part of owning.
Oh my gosh. All praise hands emoji.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it does. Like, and when you're a solopreneur, or, I mean, I have 1 or 2 team members, but we're not together all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just and they're not the boss, I'm the boss. And sometimes you just kind of feel like you're out on an island alone.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be really isolating and really difficult when you feel like nobody understands what you're going through. So I wish I had found business besties sooner, because that first year was emotionally difficult.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, when you feel like, gosh, is this hard? Is this not meant to be because it's hard? No, it's just growing pains. It's just learning. It's just development. Coke had growing pains. Nike had growing pains. And probably still do to some degree when they're launching a new product or going into a new country, or, something that's obviously like beyond the scale of what I'm doing, but I'm not alone in feeling that way.
Right.
And so, yeah, I love what you said about like growing pains don't mean it's wrong or you're not doing it right. It's just
part of it.
It's just part of it.
Yeah. So what drives you? Why do you do what you do?
What drives me? So I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. My great-grandfather and my grandfather were in publishing and owned a publishing company. And my parents own their own business. And I, just grew up watching what that allowed them to do in their life. And so for me, what drives me is that I want a life of freedom. Which sounds crazy when you own your own business.
It does, but it's like a different kind of freedom.
It's a different kind of freedom. I work way more than I ever did when I had an 8 to 5. But
Amen.
On Monday nights, I close up shop and I get to go do really great volunteer work that I enjoy. When my husband is off work and I can work it out, I spend the day with him. In 2 weeks, we're going to go on our anniversary trip, and I'm going to close down the office and I'm going to go. And I don't have to ask anybody. And so for me, that's the business part of it. Why I'm in wedding planning is I love pulling off the impossible, which is basically what wedding planning is. You don't go over on wedding day.
Yes.
I love the relationships we develop with our clients. And I love walking with them on that marriage journey to husband and wife. So like from a business side, I'm always a go-getter, always a goal setter. I'm sorry about the dog howling in the background.
It happens.
I mean, out there. And so I have that desire to have that freedom in my life. But why I own a wedding planning business is I love pulling off that impossible possible event, being the problem solver. And I love the relationship we develop with our clients. Our clients are awesome, and some of which have become my really good friends.
Yeah.
And we just get to walk with them on such a unique path that that's really cool. So
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for this quick little interview.
Thanks for asking me.
Yes. Where can people find you online? Where can they connect with you?
So you can visit our website at idoweddingplanning.com. Instagram and Snapchat are sort of my jam. That is I do weddings. Over on Pinterest, we are I do weddings as well. And on the website, you can sign up for our email list and newsletter and all that good stuff.
Nice. One last question. I forgot.
Oh.
Are you working on something new? Do you have anything new coming up?
Yeah. So this awesome lady has designed me some new collateral for our clients, which I'm excited about, and sending the first ones out tomorrow.
Yay!
We're doing a little website refresh. We're not rebranding, just a little refresh, which I'm excited about. We're working on some video projects, and then hopefully in 2017 going to launch a sister brand of resources for brides who maybe don't have a planner or just can't afford to have a wedding planner, but they need some good actual real information tools, because there's a lot of information out there, not all of which is super accurate. And most of my job, I feel like I spent educating people, which is fine. That's my job. But my clients shouldn't be the only ones to get that education. Yeah. I really want other brides out there to have that information, so they're making good, informed choices. So that is the 2017 goal. And yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Excited.
Well, thank you again so much for doing this.
Of course.
Fun.
And we're twinsies today.
I know, we are twins. I love it. We didn't plan it, I promise.
No, we didn't. We're just matching.
Yes.